inspire them, you know what I'm saying, to motivate them with the word I'm looking for, to motivate them. They could do that with the drums, with the trumpet, and they just start trying to motivate them. And as I was thinking that, you know, that motivation is good, but motivation doesn't last.
Yeah.
It doesn't last. And so as I said in the office, I said, you know, I don't want to motivate the people. I want to inspire the people.
Hallelujah.
See, because the text said that all scripture is inspired by the Most High.
Yeah.
Is inspired. And so as I'm sitting in the office and I'm hearing all the people being inspired by the music, spirits are being lifted, and I know that we're living in a time that the dragon is trying to wear out the saints. Has been given permission. You have to understand that he has been given permission to wear out the saints. And so you must keep that in mind. So I said, I want to inspire the people before I get into the text. And so it brought me to Psalms 103. So I want to inspire you right now before we get into our lesson.
Yes.
And as Miss Sharon was, playing the Shema and was going in my mind and thinking about when the Shema was inspired by the Most High and given to the children of Israel.
Yes.
And they was to declare to the nation, that's one God. You don't understand the text that you sang that song. We are living in a time right now that they say there's many gods.
Yeah.
There's many ways to salvation, but we here today say there's one way, there's one God. So when we are saying the Shema, people around us, we are declaring to the devil and his children, there is one way, has always been one way, and will continue to be one way. And that's what we are declaring, that when we say Shema Israel. So Israel is to claim, to make a proclamation there, Oprah Winfrey, Dr. Phil, whoever you may be, there's still one way. And we're here to remind the nation, there's not many ways, there's only one way. One way. And so I want to inspire us for a moment before we get into our Torah portion today, which will be from Exodus chapter 1 through Exodus chapter 6, verse 1. But I want you to see what the psalmist says here in Psalms 103. Now, I'm going to give you time to get there, because I want to be able to allow the word of Yah. See, my words fall to the ground, but Yah's word is alive. Am I right? His word is alive. The same word that created the universe holds everything together. Heaven and earth will pass away, but his say, come on. We have to understand that we the only people that hold the book that's alive. Watch this here. This is written by King David. I'm gonna take this over. I'm gonna get you in a minute. But I want you to understand. I want you to hear what I'm about to say. David is so inspired. David recognized the greatest gift. The greatest gift that David said, it's not my kingdom, it's not my throne, it's not all the people or the sheep. But David tells us what's the greatest gift that the Most High has given to man. I know sometimes that we can feel like we ain't got nothing. We struggling and all these things, but David said, listen, let me remind you of something. David opened up and he said, Baruch, Jehovah. Baruch, Jehovah. What you talking about, David? Oh, my soul. That's what David said. Oh, my soul, and all what that is within me. Bless his holy name. Notice how David bypassed the flesh. He didn't say, bless the flesh. David is relating us to Genesis chapter 2, verse 7, that Jehovah formed man from the dust, and he breathed in him the breath of life. And man became a living soul. Without the soul of the Most High, we're in the category of animals trying to survive. See, a man without a soul, he is an animal. Are y'all hear me? But David want to open up and say, listen. I want to write a song, because I want them to know that Jehovah, I'm telling Jehovah, bless you, oh my soul. You gave me a soul. That's the greatest gift you gave me. You gave me a soul. You gave me the breath of life. gift for his soul. We got the greatest gift. Yeshua said, don't worry about it. He who can kill the body, but can't touch it. So that's why Yeshua said that man does not live by bread alone, right? He's trying to get it. Don't be focused on the body. Don't be focused on the body. Focus on the soul. Because you can be rich in the body, but poor in the soul. Am I right? What is it? So he goes on in verse 2 again. He says, bless Jehovah, all my soul. And do what, David? And forget not all his benefits. Not your mama benefit. Not the raise. Not any of those things. David said, listen, I want to write to a generation so they can know. It may not be going well with you in the body, but you got a soul. You got a soul. And you need to thank the Most High that he breathed in you. And you're alive today. That's what David said. Now, don't you forget all his benefits. So, David, what are some of his benefits? Come on, David, talk to me. What are some of his benefits? Who has forgiven some of our sins? Everybody in this room is like those that are in prison right now. Got a death sentence. Waiting for their number to come up. To put them in a death sentence chair.
Yeah.
Worldly. And that's us. We was all on death row. Huh? Death row. All everybody here was on death row. But David said, listen, who has forgiven us of all our iniquity, that quickeness inside of us. Who has healed us what? Of all our diseases. This is what he has done. Forgiven our iniquity. When Yeshua died, he didn't die for our sin. He was wounded for our iniquity and bruised for our chastisement. And what? His peace. By his death, by his body, we was healed. It's not about the flesh. The part of us that money couldn't heal. It was the soul that Yeshua, he redeemed our soul back, Miss Rose. So you ought to be saying like me, bless Jehovah, all my soul, and all that is with me. I will bless his holy name, for he has forgiven me of all my iniquity. It has healed me all my diseases. Watch this here. Verse 4. He said, who has redeemed thy life from what? You know, if he did not intervene in my life and your life, where would we be right now? Where would we be right now? Is this word that stopped me from going crazy? Is this word that stopped me from putting that man in check? Oh, you hear me? Is this word that stopped me from doing something that I'm going to regret? He's the one that's holding us back. He's the one. It's what y'all saying. You say, Pastor, I ain't got none. I'm struggling, blah, blah, but I will bless Jehovah, oh my soul. Hallelujah. I can lose my house. I can lose my car. I can lose my wife. I can lose all these things, but I can get those things back. Yeah. But if I lose my soul, can't get that back.
Right.
So you be inspired no matter what you're going through right now. You say, you know what, I'm going to bless him in the situation I am. I'm going to bless him. Why? Not my flesh don't feel like it, but I say, soul, hallelujah. Bless Jehovah. Soul, lift your hands. I don't feel like, I don't care. Flesh, soul, you have to listen. Verse 5, it say, who satisfied thy mouth with what? Good things, so that thy youth is renewed like an eagle. Who think about that? An eagle had to go through something. He's renewed when his wings are. He had to undo the old. Goes up to a high mountain. And he go through this metamorphosis change. And then when he come back down, he's getting out of the old skin. And as I see this here, I say, okay, the soul is precious. So who I'm fighting with, this shell called the body. So it's the body that hindered me to really praise God. Because why? In this body, in this flesh, I remember everything I did. In this body, I remember, these days I'm going through struggles, and I can find myself having a woe me party, and then my soul is getting down and down. Why? Because I'm so focused on me. I'm so focused on my situation. But the psalmist is here to remind us there are some benefits. Nobody, listen, ain't nobody got these kind of benefits, okay, but us. Oh, I know that you work for some jobs and their benefits are terrible. And then some jobs they get you in, don't pay you much, but boy, they got good dental insurance. Boy, they got good men. Some people take jobs that based on the benefits. Am I right?
Yeah.
Y'all said, listen, this is here. I know you might be struggling, but look at the benefits. Oh, y'all hear me today? Look at the benefits. I know you barely make it. I know, but look at the benefits. Oh my goodness. Woo! Watch this here. Watch this here. Verse 6. And Jehovah executed Zadik righteous judgment for all that oppress. Think about that. I'm going to read it again. Jehovah execute what? Zadik righteousness. In other words, he said, I see what they're doing. He said, I'm a judge. Abraham said, listen, would not the judge of all the earth do what's right? I know though he's slow about dealing with certain things, but he said, listen, my ways ain't your ways. There's some people are putting your life to be your sandpaper so they can polish you. They can shine you up. They push you out of situations. There's certain things that you can look back and say, man, I'm glad I went through that. At that moment, it did not seem though it was good, but now you can look back, it made you stronger. Jehovah execute Zadik, righteousness and judgment in all the earth. Now, that's going to lead us to our teaching of when we get to the book of Exodus, how he's going to rain down judgment on Egypt because of his people. I want y'all to pay attention. Yah is not blind. He sees what's going on. And the judge of all the earth going to stand up one day when his people begin to cry out to him, not cry about their situation. See, crying out to me about your situation is not the same as crying out to him. I'm trying to help you. Watch this, verse 7. For he knows, this is going to take us right into our text. Our lesson today. He made known his what? His ways unto Moses. Now, this is the way, Derek, the pathway. He known his ways. See, you want to know his ways. You want to know his ways, the pathway. But watch this here. He said, but Moses, his acts unto who? The children of Israel. His acts. We're going to see that today in the book of Shemot. You're going to see how powerful he is. This exit, when we get to exit, it's going to show you that Yah want the whole world to know there's no God like him. He wrote it down, his acts, so everybody could see it. So we can be inspired and say, listen, don't worry about America. Just like I set my people up in Goshen. I'm letting it happen so that they'll know without a doubt, like Pharaoh say, their God is God. They're going to know that because ain't nobody has tried to help the Israelites. I'm talking about the real Israelites. But the Most High is going to step in. Oh, watch what I show you today. Watch what I show you today. So, but we can't be like the children of Israel, see his acts and still doubt. We say, boy, if I was back then and saw the sea and we open up and saw the mountain, boy, I believe. Because the text said that faith come by hearing, not action. It's not that. Why? Because I can show you I love you next week, and then you get mad at me because something I did, now you fall out of it. If you only love me based on my acts, how I act towards you, then where our friendship is. Right. Think about that. Because Yeshua say that the world loves those who love them. Am I right? Right. Hallelujah. Now watch this here. Verse 8. Jehovah is what? Merciful and great. This is what King David said. Why can David say that? Because man, David said, I should have been dead. When I had that man killed and took his wife, but Yah sent Nathan just to deal with me. He could have took his Holy Spirit. He could have took his throne, but Yah is merciful. David can say that. Jehovah is chesed, mercy, and gracious. Watch this here. Watch this here. Slow to what? Anger. And plenty of mercy. This is some of the benefits. So when you find yourself in a situation that he said, no, don't look at what you, don't try to earn my merit. You just get back here. You remember that I'm mercy, that I'm the one that mercy. You ain't got to cut yourself like those others and please these false deities. He said, no. My mercy is loud. I'm mercy. I'm merciful. We got to remind that he's mercy. And he's going to tell us why. Watch this here. Verse 9. He will not always strive, resist, neither will he keep his anger forever. So stop thinking that because you had a secret abortion that God ain't never forgave you. A secret adultery. A secret this here. And nobody know about it. And the enemy always use that every time something happens bad in your life. The enemy says, see. That's how he works. He's the accuser of the brother. Watch this here. Verse 10. It says here, he has not dealt with us after our what? Okay. If you wanted you dead, you'll be dead right now. This ain't no license to go sin. But I'm saying if he was tired, everybody here does sin over 10 times. So if he wanted you dead, you're dead. He has not dealt with us after our sin, nor rewarded us according to our iniquity. Think about that. This week, think about that. If he wanted to judge according to our sins and our iniquity. If he has not, that benefits right there. Verse 11. For as the heaven is higher above the earth, so great is his mercy towards them that fear him. Fear him. So David said, now, let's not get it tripping now. There's benefits in this here, but you can't be so cool with the boss man. You show up at 10 o'clock and you're supposed to be here at 9. Let's not forget the reverence who I am. As for verse 12, for as the east is from what? The west, so far has he removed our, there we go, transgression. So he dealt with iniquity, now dealing with transgression. How far have he moved them? Man, you can't even, So why are you going to try to get them? That's a long way to go travel. Y'all say it's so far, you just, that's how he had moved us so far that I don't even must remember. Joseph had a son in Mizraim, and he said, and his first son was Manasseh. And he said, why? Because Yah has caused me to forget. We need to understand what the psalmist is saying. Watch this, verse 13. Like as a father pity his children, so Jehovah pitied them that fear him. There go that word again. Fear him. Yerah him. For why is that? For he knows our frame. He remembered that we are what? Dust. He said, I know the issue. The manufacturer knows that when there's a defect in the product, he calls it back. But it's those who know it but don't want to lose the money, then they find out paying more when they found out. When there's a whistleblower. Am I right?
Right. Amen.
So y'all say, I know there's a defect in the product. That's why I'm going to send an answer. I'm going to send an answer. Got to deal with the sins and the iniquity and the transgression so that you can be free, not packing that stuff around. That guilt. Listen, there's a difference between guilt and conviction. Big difference. Think about that. A person can feel guilty about something but never repent. Don't get it tricky. Okay, case in point. Judas, after he betrayed the Bushiach, the scriptures say that Judas repented, but it's not the Greek word for repented. You look it up and say it literally means that he felt guilty. Why did he feel guilty? Because it didn't turn out like he thought it was going to turn out. Judas didn't really repent. It's like some people just really, they saying they're sorry, but they're only sorry because they got caught. Those are different. You can feel guilty about not doing something around here, but that don't mean nothing if you never do it. When is the guilt going to turn into conviction? He knows, guys. He knows our frame because why he made us. He's the manufacturer. He knows how we form. Verse 15. As for as man, his days are as grass, as a flower of the field, so is he flourished. Think about that. Everything has a shelf life. Everything has a shelf life. For the wind passes over it and is gone, and the place thereof shall know it no more. Now watch this here. Because now I don't know how long it been, but because I do the yard around here, right? So as I was weed eating yesterday, then I got to a place, I like, oh, something missing here. And the reason that I knew something was missing because when I was weed eating one time, I kind of cut the tree, and then so it was in my mind, right? I said, something missing here. See, I didn't know when you had moved the tree, Mike. The olive tree. Yeah. Added a tree. No, he moved one because that tree wasn't back there. So the tree was there. I'm gonna show you. Watch. We'll show you because you know how I knew because it was some trigger. Oh, watch that show you. What's it there? Verse 17. But the mercy of Jehovah is from everlasting to everlasting upon them. Here we go again. Yara. Fear him and his zadik unto the children of children. And such as keep his covenant, his covenant, and them that Zokor remember his commandments to do them. Why he just didn't say remember? Huh? He said remember and do them. When our kids are very forgetful, we'll say don't remember, don't forget. Why mama saying that? Because he's going to be playing that game and forget or have forgot. So all y'all saying, don't forget these things. Now watch this here. Jehovah has prepared his throne in the heavens and his kingdom ruleth over all. Now watch this here. Bless Jehovah, ye his messengers that excel his strength in his strength, that do his word. They translate as commandment, but is the bar word. Hearken into the voice of his word, the bar. Bless ye Jehovah, all you hosts, your ministers of his that do his pleasure. Bless Jehovah, all his what? His works in all places of his dominion. Bless Jehovah, oh my soul. Yeah. So when you are feeling down, this is the verse. This is the psalm to read. Amen. To be inspired. Just like putting on a song. When you're down and out, we got 150 songs. Find one to inspire you. The same way in the natural. When we want to be inspired, we put on some songs. When we want to clean it, we put on certain songs. Amen. Am I right? So that shows you the power of music. So when you're down and out, find a song that inspires you. You ain't got to put on no R&B. Huh? Because you don't know how that thing came about in that studio. Are y'all hear me? I know it got a good beat to it, but who was it sacrificed to? Huh? That's right. What were they smoking? What were they drinking? All those things that you have to keep in mind. So I hope that inspired us and be reminded that the greatest gift that you have, okay, is your soul.
That's right.
Don't sell your soul
Hallelujah.
for a pot of stew. Don't sell your soul for a career. Don't sell your soul for a male or female. Or nothing in this world is worth that. Nothing in this world. Amen. Give me a little air, just a little bit. Y'all freezing? Yeah. My goodness. Let's turn to the book of Shemot. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. We're starting our portion in the book of Shemot. That is the book of Exodus. I need y'all to keep in mind that I'm going to go back and forth with Hebrew words. Shemot. The book of Exodus comes from the Greek word. Here we go again, the Hellenist, which is the Greek word Exodus means to depart. But the Hebrew word is much more deeper. You need to keep it in mind because the text is trying to tell us something here. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind that we know, because we have the full counsel of the Most High. Am I right? And so this book is inspired by the Ruach Kadesh, the Holy Spirit. And so we are told by Peter that we are not following cunning stories made up by man. These are divine acts. So everything that are written in here is written for our learning. Romans 15:4, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses, you can do verses 6 and 11. Well, some things are written for our learning. So it's to teach us. The Holy Spirit has penned these words here. The Holy Spirit has penned these stories here, these history of a people. But I want you to understand that this is from your perspective. As I was telling my wife today, that if we can just read the text the way that it's written, without adding to it, without taking away from it. Moses told us that don't let nobody take it away from you. Deuteronomy 4:2 said, don't add to the word or take it away. Deuteronomy chapter 12:32 said the same thing. Don't add to the word or take it away. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 5 and 6 said, if you add to his word, you will find you a liar. Revelation chapter 22, verse 18 through 20 said, do not add to his word or take it away. So I think we ought to get the point by now, right? Yeah. Don't take away from his word. Now, let's deal with the name of the book of Exodus, which is Greek, but the word is Shem, which means name. Okay, now remember, this is a document written to the people of the Most High, right? Moses was a Hebrew Israelite, am I right? From the tribe of Levi. So this is written not to the nation, but to a nation called Israel. Now, watch this here. Mike, I want you to read. We're going to pick it up. And verse chapter 1, start at verse 1, and we're going to just walk our way through this here. Let's do verse 1 through 7.
These are the names of the sons of Israel who came into Egypt with Yaakov.
Chapter 1, Exodus chapter 1, and then we're going to start at verse 1 through 7. Okay.
Amen. These are the names of the sons of Israel who came into Egypt with Yaakov. Each man came with his household: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Yehuda, Issachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. All told, these were 70 descendants of Yaakov. Joseph was already in Egypt. Joseph died, as did all his brothers and all that generation. The descendants of Israel were fruitful, increased abundantly, multiplied, and grew very powerful.
Okay. Now watch this here. We have to understand. Let's go to Genesis chapter 46. The question is, how did they get there? I'm doing this for my students who are not aware of these things. So let's understand, this is a history book. We have to be able to tell our history. So if you say that I'm the seed of Abraham, then I say, well, what was Abraham's son name? What was his son name? Isaac. Okay, then Isaac had how many sons? 2. And so who was the one that received the blessing? Jacob. So just little simple things like that, we ought to be able to know this is the history of a people, not a religion. So if we are the seed of Abraham, then the text said in Galatians that go back to Abraham and start there. Then you'll know your genealogy. It's a lot that we need to touch on. So let's go. So now, chapter 46, verse 1, okay? Now we know, because I'm assuming that you read the portion, we know there's a famine. Okay? So don't let your past information to distort the lesson. Okay, so we're going to walk through it. Go ahead.
46 verse 1. And Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba and offered sacrifices unto the Elohim of his father Isaac. And Elohim spake unto Israel in the vision of the night and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am Elohim, the Elohim of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will make of thee a great nation.
No, stop that. Watch it. Watch it. So now, watch this. So now, I mean, I don't want to deal with all the fear that everybody's afraid to go down to Egypt. Why? Because Egypt, them boys was kidnapped for us. Our mother got kidnapped there. Now, I know King James don't tell it right, but Pharaoh actually kidnapped her. These were some kidnapped people. If they saw what they wanted, see, it's obvious that they didn't know about thou shalt not covet. Huh? He went tough. No, that's called kidnap. So now Jacob is afraid to go down now. But listen what the Most High is saying to Jacob. Don't be afraid to go down now, because why? Is in this place I'm going to multiply you as a nation. I'm talking about in the land of affliction. In the land that you are a stranger. This thing is written for us. Or now we in a strange land? Or now we being afflicted? Huh? Watch this here. I told you, we like baby kids, all right? Can't take us out. Why is that? Because we're here for a divine. So he said, Jacob, don't be afraid to go down now. Listen to the promise. I want you to hear not just words say, don't be afraid to go down here. Is in this place, I'm going to make you a great nation. See, one thing about the children of Israel, when they do like tests on vices and stuff like that, they are doing it because when they have children, their children is going to act a certain way. Why? Because they know that it triggers something in the DNA, right? So now, because the Most High want us to be strong and knowing that things are going to happen to us, he has to put us in a situation where these things abuse us, things that strengthen us. So the same thing that's afflicting us and doing this to us, but all of a sudden is making us stronger. Because the text tells us here that anybody that say that we're weak, they're lying. Because the text says, see, the only way that we feel a certain way because we get our information from the wrong people. I'll tell you what the text said. Don't be afraid. It'll be like saying, don't afraid. Putting us on this ship. Don't be afraid to go to the new world. It's in the new world. I'm going to make you a nation. But the problem is, if we never understand that we are a nation and keep divided as a people, we'll never become a nation. So I don't want them to find out, Mr. Sharon, that they was a nation when they came here. That was a war on us. So Israel, we're a nation. And we have governed laws right here. This is powerful, Harry. We got to understand we are a nation. In a nation. And if we could come together, if we could come together with this book, deal with that little silly stuff, the name things, that's all that keep like name and is it new moon? It doesn't have nothing to do with salvation. So he said, Jake, I'm going to make of you a great nation. Now keep in mind, this thing started with one man, Abraham. Bam. He believed the promise. Then we see Isaac. Then we see Jacob. One man. That's all y'all need. We can become a nation. Be governed by this book. Amen. Think about that. To be governed by this book. Have the Most High over us. We saying, okay, we don't want no president. We don't want no senator. We want a king. We want you as king. So don't be afraid to go down to Mizraim. Why? Because there I'm going to make you a great nation. Go ahead.
And Jacob rose up. Verse 4.
Verse 4.
So I will go down.
I will go down. Listen to these words. I will go down with thee unto Mizraim. Go ahead.
And I will also surely bring thee up again.
That's a key word. Look how he's speaking to him. This is what I'm telling you. Once we start journeying through this book of Exodus, because the sole purpose of Exodus is the Most High to flex his muscles. To show the world who the true God is. Why? Chose the most powerful nation in the ancient world to display that all the nation would see. Think about this here. See, we have the whole counsel written in front of us. And we have the story that when the spies went into the land under Joshua's leadership, and then Rahab said, listen, we heard the moment that y'all was coming. The moment that we heard that y'all was coming, he said, every man just was afraid. That's when we had him on our side. You think the nation wants to come together? The people to come together, the people of Elohim, the people, the strangers, the sojourners? No. They benefit off of us striking. They benefit off of that. That's why it has to be a leader that sees this thing and points to this thing. He said, I will go down with thee, I will bring thee up. Right? Go ahead.
And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob, their father, and their little ones, and their wives, in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him. His sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt.
So all this seed, right? So now this is connecting us to Shemot chapter 1, right? Now let's go to chapter 49 of Bereshit, that is Genesis. Okay, chapter 49. Let's pick it up, Mike, in verse 29.
29. So your page is okay. And he charged them and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people.
I want you to just highlight that word, my people. Key word there. Go ahead.
Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephron the Hittite for possession of a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife, and they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife, and there I buried Leah. The purchase of the field and of the cave that is therein was from the children of Heth. And when Jacob had made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed and yielded up the ghost and was gathered into his people.
Key word, key, his people. Now let's jump over to chapter 50. Now, remember what the Most High said to Yaakov, that I'm going to go down to Egypt with you and I'm going to bring you up. Now, remember, they ain't packing around no Torah scroll. They'll hear the word and walking it out. You need to keep that in mind. They ain't got no, they're hearing it and doing it. They ain't got no scripture that they can run to. They'll hear the message. See, when you got mature kids in the house, you ain't got to put their name on the refrigerator who's trying to do the dishes. Am I right? You don't have to do all those things. Abraham heard the voice and he walked out. Isaac heard, he walked. Jacob heard, they walked. It was only when we are becoming a nation. Now you need something to govern the people with. We'll find out that later. But this here, they just hearing the word and walking. That's a sign of a good student right there. Well, you didn't leave me a note. Let's pick it up in chapter 50, verse 24, Mike.
Yes, 50 verse 24. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and Elohim will surely visit you, and bring you out of this land unto the land which he sware unto Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob.
Where did he get that from? The same words that Yaakov said to him. See how they passing on? Why? They believe it. If we believe what the word says, we pass it on to our children.
Amen. Amen.
One of my favorite verses is Zephaniah. That the Most High said, I will turn your captivity before your face. This thing ain't going to be done in secret. Go ahead.
25. And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, Elohim will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt.
I want to bring out something else. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 25 for a moment, because I'm telling you, it's going to make sense when we get this here. This is a history book.
Amen.
History book, we have taught it like gumbo, just threw everybody in.
Right.
The book ain't written like that. I promise the book ain't written like that. Now, remember that Abraham was buried and went to his people. The question would be, if you read this as not knowing anything, you'll say, well, who was his people? But because we've been taught from a religion perspective, we put all people together. But the book's not dealing with everybody. It's a script about his people. Watch this here. Let's go to Bereshit, that is Genesis chapter 25, I said, right? Okay, let's start at verse 7.
And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life, which he lived, 160 years. Then Abraham gave up the ghost and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years. And he was gathered to his people.
His people, stop right there. Again, his people, right? Okay, let's jump down to verse, let's do verse 12.
Now these are the generation of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare to Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names, according to their generations, the firstborn of Ishmael, Neajoth.
Let's jump down to verse 17.
And these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years, and he gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people.
Now, we have to understand, because it's going to make most sense to us once we travel through the text. Genesis, you do your own homework. Genesis is trying to make sure that everybody knows who everybody is. It has like 10 to 11 Todah. These are the generation of Esau. These are the generation of Ishmael. These are the generation of Shem. So that when you move on out of Genesis, he already done told you. Y'all say, I already told you who's who. So that you won't get to the book of Exodus and say, who are the Amorites? Who are the Canaanites? I just told you to Genesis, but we have been dummied down and say, oh, genealogy ain't important. Where we get that from? Think about it. How many of us done jumped over the genealogy? Come on, I'm just telling you. That was a trap of the enemy. And Matthew, the book of Matthew, opened up and said, and Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac begot Jacob. Then David. So he opened up the genealogy saying, listen, I'm going to prove to you from the genealogy that Yeshua has the right to the throne. So from those in the ancient world, even when we get to the book of Esther, that when Tobad, them came and to enter into, as they came out of exile, and then for registration as a Levite, they couldn't find their name. They said, oh, you can't be one. No, you had to be registered. Where's your name at? And because they was mad because they wasn't in part of the Levite, they called Mordecai and them hell. They was part of Israel, but they couldn't prove it. So was they really part of it, or just trying to get in on it? Think about that. So Genesis wants us to understand that Yah, this is from the Most High perspective. Go back, check them out. We already know who the Ishmael. We already know who Esau is, and all of these descendants is in the book. If we ignore that, you're not going to know. You'll make religion say, well, we all God people. Not from the biblical text. Watch how we go through this thing here. So let's deal with this phrase for a moment. Let's go to Genesis chapter 11. Believe me, it's going to be good. Genesis chapter 11. At one time, At one time, watch this here. At one time, before the fall or before the Tower of Babel, all groups of people were grouped at one group. Now watch the text. I'm telling you, it's beautiful once we get our religion eyes off this thing here. Go ahead and Genesis chapter 1. Start. Go ahead. 11.
And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
So we know that at one time the people shared one language, right? Go ahead.
And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said to one another, Go, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had bricks for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
Now, notice that Genesis opened up, letting us know what a people. Doesn't matter what color you are, what a people from Yah's perspective that has one vision, one goal, one language, what they can accomplish. This is what Jesus is trying to open up to and show you. Yeah, at one time, but that's not what I told them. I told Noah, y'all scatter and be multiplied. Ain't that what he told Noah? But we know the story here, the dictatorship of Nimrod and his crew. Go ahead.
And Jehovah came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And Jehovah said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. This they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So Jehovah scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city. Okay, now watch this here. And then the next is not by accident that the next verse 10, it jumps in. Okay, that ain't gonna work. So it jumps in. Now these are the Todah of Shem. So where we get Abraham, what it says in verse 27, Terah come from that. And we know that Terah, our father Terah, which was part of the lineage, but he was idol worship. So we always had idol worship in our community. Don't act like that. We always been holy. Huh? See? So now we can see that what Abraham come from was the lineage, right? The lineage of Shem. I'm doing this so that y'all can be able to share with others. So we can see that, right? So now watch this here. So now we see that the people had one language, one goal, but that was not Yah goal. Listen, guys, we can have one goal about doing something. We need to say, if it doesn't line up with Yah's word, we ain't doing it. I don't care if we all get together to do something. Does it line up? Is it violate Yah's goal? Yah told them, after they came out of the ark, you spread abroad. But it always be somebody raised up on earth, and now we ain't going to do it this way. And have people be aware of people that's close to you that they're so smooth in their leadership, but they have you turn against the Most High. Nimrod was a good leader, but he got the people to rebel against Yah. That make him a bad leader. So I don't care how much we love Obama. The question is he for Yah people? Listen, God, I know voting stuff about to come up. Listen. When it comes to voting, if you ask me about voting, if a person asks me, don't come to me and say, did you vote? I'm saying, why? Let me talk to the person I'm supposed to be voting for, and I'll say to him, what you going to do for my people? Huh? Huh? We just vote for people because we like, no, what are you going to do for my people? I ain't talking about no Spanish, I ain't talking about no white, I ain't talking about my people. Why are we the only people that can't say, no, I want something to do for my people? You know, that's Reggie. No, why we just can't all get along? We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about something, what you're going to do for our community and our people. See, we're the only people that don't demand nothing from them. I bet my Spanish brothers, they get their stuff, don't they? But y'all about to shift that. He about to change that. Now, watch this here. Very important. So we see in Genesis that there was a group of people, one language,
one vision, one call, one language. Am I right? Then we see in verse 8 and 9 that the Most High scattered the people by race. How did he scatter them? Come on. Huh? Read the text. Verse 9 again.
Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because Jehovah did confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad from the face of all the earth.
So he scattered them. Now, just imagine this here. He scattered the people, okay? And the people that, if we spoke certain language, I'm going to follow you. So the people went, right? So now we see Shem. Then the text wants us to know because it is inspired by Yah. Okay, now let's deal with Shem. Why? Because I'm about bringing redemption to mankind. That didn't work doing it like that. So I got to sort out a seed, one of Noah's sons, which just happened to be Shem. And I'm going to use them to bring redemption to mankind. Always remember that. Our mission, I'll get to it later, that we have been anointed to bring redemption to the world. So now, when we look at this verse, that we can say that by producing many groups. Now watch this here. So when he produced many groups, right? Different language, different people. What's going to happen, Ms. Rose? Watch this here. So when he produced, by scattering the people into instead of a unit, he scattered them, right? So now we can see that people has a common language. This is going to make sense. Common language, common ancestors. Now we got a religion belief. Why? Because everybody ain't going to be believing the same. Okay? And then, because the people are scattered, they're different traditions. This is how all this stuff going to take it. And then, because we have all these things different, then how can we be blood? Think about that. Very important. How can we be blood? Now watch this here. So now, when we go back to Exodus, the book of Shemot, we see that everybody came down there, right? Everybody came down now. So we know that this is the Abraham's seed in Mizraim. Oh my goodness. I ain't got time to turn to the verse, but you know what the Most High told Abraham, right? In Genesis 15, what's that, probably maybe 13 or 14, he says, surely now your descendant shall be in a land not their own, and they shall be afflicted. Huh? But this is powerful. I want y'all to see something. We're going to turn back this here. This is history right here. Let's go to Genesis chapter 15. I'm going to show you something here. I'm going to show you something here. For you people that think that the Most High just want to just destroy all mankind, they don't know the book. And that's I said. If we don't start teaching this book, people are confused about the Most High. So the Most High speaks to Abraham. Pick it up in verse 13. Genesis, Bereshit, verse 15, chapter 15, verse 13.
And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full.
Okay, let's turn back over there to Exodus chapter 1. And watch this here. Remember that. They shall come. Why? Because the iniquity of who? The Amorites. Okay? And the fourth, they say that they shall come in the fourth generation. Am I right? Now watch this here. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and all their generation died. Boom, fourth generation in Egypt. This is the fourth generation. I want you to see how long the Most High had mercy on the Amorites. They didn't change for 4 generations. Did y'all catch that? He went, look, did not I read the psalm saying that he's long suffering, slow to anger. 4 generations he's been warning these people, the Hamites. So we can trace them back to Genesis. They come from Ham. Now we're in the land of Ham. We're in the land of Ham. Guess who afflicting us? the Hamites. This is what now we're going to see here that we know who's doing the affliction because the text tells us we're in the land of Ham. Read verse 9 for me, Mike.
And he said unto his people,
Uh-huh.
Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
Now notice he said, now y'all need to be afraid as we go through this. I mean, in the book of Exodus, he's separating his people from the people of the land. His people. So we know, according to the text, who his people is. Israel. They're going to use Israel sometime. Then they're going to use Hebrew sometime. We can trace it back to Eber. The Israelites. You got to know our inheritance. So Pharaoh says to his people, which is the Egyptian of Mizraim. The text, as we go through it, is going to separate his people, my people. His people, my people.
Okay.
You understand? I got plenty of verses right there. Now, when it comes to his people, right? Yah has already, because we have a written document, he has already set his people apart. Let me give you a few verses before we move into another side. Let's deal with Yah and his people. So the book of Shemot wants us to know that who the people is. Let's look at let's start here, Mike. This murder scene or this hit out that Pharaoh's trying to get the children of Israel to do. Let's go on and just pick up in verse 10 then.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and it come to pass that when there fall out any war, they join also into our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. And all their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
So we know who the people is. So we say the people, right? We know the people. See, we have the document right here. But I'm trying to undo so that when we start looking at history and prophecy, we know who Yah is talking about. We cannot allow religion to put us all in a gumbo. We cannot do that. If we do that, we're not reading the text right. And you're going to be confused when prophecy start happening. You're going to be very confused. I want to look at a few verses. Let's go to the chapter. There's so many, guys. There's so many. Let's go to chapter 5 then. Exodus, yeah. I'm just jumping around. Then we go to work. Because I know that some of you might be convinced, some of you not, and I'm trying to help my students who are here, so I got two different levels of students here. Go ahead, Mike.
Chapter 5, verse 1. And afterward Moshe and Aaron went in and told Pharaoh, Thus says Jehovah, Elohim of Israel, let my people go, that they may hold a feast unto me in the wilderness.
Okay. Let my people go. This is going to be the phrase throughout the text. The text, if you're a person that didn't know who the people were, then you had to go back to the beginning. So the people is Israel. So now we have the Egyptian, have the people of the Most High in captivity, but it was already prophesied. The same way, if you understand that the slave trade thing was already prophesied, then you'll realize, okay, this only for a season. But when you don't know that it has already been prophesied, and if you don't know how these events happen to a certain people, then you'll just think, as we all have said to ourselves, why they hate us so much? Not knowing that, as Daniel said, the curse has come upon us. So we have to keep that in mind throughout the text. that he continued to say, my people, let my people go. That's the thing that he would continue to say to Moses over and over and over. I don't want to go there because I got so many, but we will see this theme as we go through the text. My people, let my people go, my people go. So just keep that in mind, because I don't want to labor on that. But trying to set the part that Yah is going to show us through the book of Shemot, his power, his provision, his sustaining his people, that everything that we're going through today. We're going to see that, yes, there are people oppressing us, but Yah said, I see the affliction of my people. This is to encourage us. Let's go back to Exodus chapter 1. If we don't get anything out of this lesson today, know that if you are Yah people, he sees what the enemy is doing to you. Let me show you something here. I was going to do that, but since I was inspired by reading this here and understanding this here, I can do that because we have a whole council before us. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4. Okay. Look at chapter 4, I said, right? Verse 19 and 20.
Unless thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which Jehovah thy Elohim have divided unto all nations under the whole of heaven. But Jehovah hath taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day.
This day. Look how Moses is speaking to the future generation. A furnace, heat. How did they survive down there? Think about that. How did they survive down there? The same way that we are surviving today.
Amen. Hallelujah.
That the Most High is with his people.
Yes.
This is a written document to encourage us. Let's go to chapter 7.
Verse 1.
Verse 6.
Verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto Jehovah thy Elohim, and Jehovah thy Elohim hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
No, we chose ourselves.
Oh.
No. I'm trying to get us to see the document so that when we start going through these things, that you will see the whole text is written by the people of the Most High.
Yes, sir.
You know the story of Ruth, when they having that little thing on the road, and they always say, "Look at your sister. She gone back to her God and her people." But Ruth cleaved to Naomi, right?
Right.
So throughout the text, there's always a difference between his people and the people of the nation. You got to keep that in mind. This is how the text is written. Say, I chose you above all the nations, right? Go ahead.
The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor chose you, because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. But because Jehovah loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, hath Jehovah brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Know therefore that Jehovah thy Elohim, he is Elohim, the faithful Elohim, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations.
1,000 generations. The word they use here for generation is door. When it comes around to you, they don't use the todah. They use the word door, D-O-R, door. So when it comes around to you, remember, he's still in your generation.
Hallelujah.
That's why he always say, I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Yeah.
In other words, I didn't die with Abraham. I didn't die with Isaac. You see what I'm talking about? He's trying to teach us. And then verse 14 says, then thou shalt bless, thou shalt be a Baruch above all people. Thou shalt not be what? Barren among you. Think about it. These are the things that Moses is encouraging the people. Let's go to Amos right quick. We was a nation, birthed in a nation. Keep in mind what the Most High told Yaakov. That down now, you might not be liking the situation where you're at right now, but just keep in mind what he said to our father Yaakov. Listen, don't be afraid. See, some of you might be in a situation right now that you about to make a move, but you know, all you have to do is does it violate his word? If it does, then you know you shouldn't do it. But if it's a good idea, it doesn't violate his word or violate human beings, then go ahead and do it. How we know that he might not, he put that ideal in your mind. I guarantee you, Miss Betty, you can sell some cornbread around here. Huh? I'm trying to tell you. Miss Betty cornbread. Make a penny for me. I started taking the work and cut it up and start selling it. Amos chapter 3, I said, right? Go ahead. Verse 1.
Hear this word that Jehovah hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying. So
we know who he's talking about, right? Go ahead.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Now, what's so precious about that? He said, you the only family on earth I had a relationship with. It's the same word that Adam knew Eve and she could see, or Hawa. So he said, listen, I recognize the other nation, but I got a relationship with you. I married you at Mount Sinai. I became betrothed to you. So that's why he can say, don't put no other God before my face. Yah forbid it. If somebody did separate, you can't bring another man here, another woman here. Not in this house. Yah forbid. So y'all say, no, you can't do that. You only have I known of all the family of the earth. Go ahead.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Yeah. In other words, you, my children, I can spank your butt. Yes, sir. Why the nations don't struggle? Why they ain't going? No, because you, my children. That's right. Remember what your father Abraham said. Nah, we ain't taking nothing from the government because they'll say you made us rich. Right. Think about that. Abraham was smart. Think about that. They would have brought it back in our face today. The Sodomites would have said, see, your father Abraham took money from us. What you mean you can't take my tithes and offering? Because you know who their money was coming, right? He said, we don't want the stuff. Give us the meaning. Can two walk together unless they're going right? So the point I want to make here is that Yah has already chosen his people. He has given man what he wants, but his people is his people. One more verse, and then we're going to go back to Exodus. Deuteronomy chapter 32. We're picking up at verse 8, Mike. Because as Marcus Garvey said, people without an inheritance or an identity is like a tree without a root. It's not enough. Listen, what carrying the title Christian has done for you? A Baptist. How did it make you feel? Did it make you feel connected? No, it didn't.
Not at all.
No. It's a people having a culture, people having an inheritance. And the mission has not changed for Israel just because we're in captivity. How can Zaphaniah, Yah say through Zaphaniah, I will turn your captivity before your face if we're not still in captivity?
Tell it.
See, is that deceptive because you got a little money in the bank or you're doing good, you think you're in captivity? Yes, you are. We ain't about the ones that say, see, these ones that made it in the, yeah, but you can sacrifice them. Then they think they're not the poster child for us. Always going to get an athlete to be outspoken. What do you know about persecution? Think about that. Always go get these athletes to be outspoken. And LeBron is not outspoken. His money that made him forgot about all the trouble.
Thank you.
When the Most High, go ahead, verse 8.
When the Most High divided the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bound of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
Did you catch that? When did he divide the people? We just read it earlier in Bereshit chapter 11. What do man fights over? Land, property. So it says, listen, when the Most High, read it again, slowly, go ahead.
When the Most High divided the nations their
inheritance. Notice, their inheritance. Go ahead.
When he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bound of the people according to the number of the children of Israel.
What was the number of the children of Israel when they went into Egypt? 70. Genesis says there's 70 nations, right? Go ahead.
For Jehovah's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance.
Say, y'all don't have land. When the Most High looking over the earth, say, yeah. So while man fighting over land, y'all say, no, you my portion. I cast lots. I got 70 nations. Now I ain't gonna say that my daddy can shoot dice, but you know what I'm talking about. But he cast lots. Okay. Now lots is biblical. When in the book of Acts, when Judas hung himself, right? And so the only reason that I ain't gonna go there, but they cast lots because they needed another, right? So they say, y'all, we're gonna cast lots. Why? Because that means that people kind of evil, right? So y'all cast lots and it just happened to land on us. It ain't my fault. So he said, listen, for Jehovah's portion is his people. So he chose us. He tells us in Bereshit, chapter 7, Devarim, he said, listen, don't get it tripping. I didn't choose you because you're more than anybody else. See, this thing go back to your father Abraham. Abraham, this is very important. Just go to we can start yet. Go to Exodus. Come on. But y'all know the whole truth. If we was taught this from a youth, I wouldn't have to work so hard. Why? Because you would know this stuff. I mean, I'm skipping over so much stuff because of the time. It's really, I can't even touch half the stuff over here. So now, keep in mind that Israel is in the land of Ham. The text tells us that in the Psalm that Israel is in the land of Ham. Okay? And this is the 4th generation. They're about to come out. See, prophecy, Genesis is prophecy. Y'all told our father Abraham, listen, in the 4th generation, they coming out. That's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they coming out. So we need to know where we at on the biblical timetable. Just in case beat me up, Scotty ain't right. Think about that. So now we see that the people are being afflicted. Now what's interesting about this text here, which we ain't gonna touch on it today, that while Joseph was alive, they was living good. Because when you look at the famine, right? The famine said that when the brothers came down now, Joseph said, well, that's 2 more years of this, and then the famine comes. So Joseph, when the famine started, Joseph went to 7 years, so that he's 37. Now he said, now the bad years are going to start, so that makes him 39, right? So then the text wants us to know that Joseph died when he was 110. So you take the 110 and 39, as you subtract, that's 71 years. They were living good. So if I do the math on that, that destroyed the 400 years of being slaves in Egypt. They was not 400 years slaves in Egypt, and that can be proven easy once you understand the text. Amen. He said, Abraham, your seed shall be afflicted in a land. So the first land that they was afflicted was in the land of Canaan. When Sarah looked out there and saw that Egyptian Ishmael persecuted Isaac. And Paul caught on to that in the book of Galatians. He said that which was born out of the flesh, persecute that was born out of the spirit. So it is to this day. So the 400 years of slavery in Israel, that's not correct. I'm gonna show you. I got proof to that. I got 2 proof because you need 2 witnesses, right? I got the Masoretic. Don't believe the Masoretic text because that's where our translation come from. And I got Josephus, and then I got I got the Septuagint that was translated in 250 BC. Prove that real easy. So that destroyed the 400 years of slavery in Egypt. They was persecuted for 400 years from the day that Isaac was born. Then the text tells us, I didn't want to go there today, but I'm just throwing it there now. So Isaac was born, you take the 25 years, and then the text, anytime it gives you the numbers, add them up. Then you take Jacob, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Isaac, who had his son Esau and Jacob, 60. He wants to know that, right? And then you take Jacob's age, when he came down to Egypt, was 130. You add it up, you got 215. This is what Josephus said. He said that they spent 215 years in Canaan and 215 years in Egypt. Think about that. It's incredible. It's right there in the front of our eyes. So I'll show you that later. But this is what I want you to see, though. Because there's always a dual prophecy. There's always a dual prophecy. So when we look at our state, you can see the 1500, even though we started at 1600, but it's really started at 1500, and you can see the same track record. So we have to understand, where are we? Why our eyes are being open? You have to ask a question, okay? All these people can't be crazy. This stuff is happening worldwide. And even different races are talking about it. So the question is, okay, let's put this on the witness stand. Let's call these 2 groups of people to the heavenly court and open up the books, which is the BIB, the scriptures. We only got 2 people on the planet that's saying that they are the people. Those that are in the land right now, and then those that are in captivity. Let's just bring the evidence and solve all that. Just that simple. Just that simple. It's not complicated. Okay? Now, watch this here. This is very important. We'll stop there, Mike. Go ahead.
And the king of Egypt spake unto the Hebrew midwives, which name of one was Sipra, and the name of the other Pua. And he said, when ye do the office of the midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him.
Now watch this here, guys. Now, he went to plan B. At first, he tried to get his people involved in this here. Am I right? He said, come, let us deal wisely with them in verse 10. Lest they multiply. What are he using? He using fear, huh? Like America used fear to go in people's land, and they use TV to say, oh yeah, go get them. Well, we ain't seen the weapons yet. But they use us, and they use the media just to send us all kind of images and to put fear. No, keep them over there, because if they don't, no, y'all lying to us. Them people ain't got nothing to do with us. They know who y'all is. They know who we are. They ain't worried about us. So now he moved from getting his people to and say, okay, let me see, do I got some sellouts? Huh? So now what he did, he's opened up an abortion clinic in the hood. I'm not making this up. This is abortion. The king spoke to the Hebrew midwife. One name means fair, and one name splendor. Verse 16, go ahead.
And he said, when ye do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them on the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if he be a daughter, then she shall live.
Go ahead.
But the midwives feared Elohim.
Oh, and hey, ain't that what the psalmist say? They that fear Yah, Yahweh. Go ahead.
And did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men children alive. Amen.
Oh, we need mothers like that. Baby, I know what you're planning on doing. But baby, I know you're planning on doing, but we need mothers like this here.
Definitely.
Huh? Instead of saying, well, yeah, baby girl, I gonna do it too, because he ain't no good. You see what I'm talking about? But they said, no, we can't do this anymore. But if they set up clinics in our neighborhood and make it so hard for these young girls and make it so easy, and make it so easy for them, I mean, this child, come on, Brenda didn't know what to do. Huh? Remember Brenda? Brenda had a baby. He told us about it. That's an old rap song. Verse 18.
And the king of Egypt called for the midwives and said unto them, why have ye done this thing, and have saved the men children alive? And the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Egyptian women, but they are lively, and they are delivered ere the midwives come unto them. Therefore Elohim dealt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared Elohim, that he made them houses.
In Hebrew concept, your lineage, a house means that your house is established.
Come on.
We read about them today. Huh? Right here. I'm about the king of Egypt. The king of Egypt. Someone's gonna be so afraid to stand up because you're afraid to lose your job. They was in the position to losing their life. But notice the text tells us they feared Yah. See, the fear of man is a trap. The text tells us that. So here is we're in another land. We see, thank you, mothers, for standing up. This is a testimony to the ladies.
Yeah.
When Moses heard that Pharaoh was going to kill him, what he did? He ran. These ladies. And it's written right here. Let us know who the first one stood up and said, it ain't happening on my watch. How about that? When you look at was that Proverbs chapter 31, and it opened up and said, what the verse says? A virtual woman. Poor translation. Poor translation. The word, if you go to Joshua, what did the Most High tell Joshua? He said, do what? He said, Joshua, do not let this book of the Torah depart from your mouth, right? Then he tells Joshua, be what? Be strong. Why translation didn't translate that word? The word virtue is the same word that's used to Joshua, to be strong. So the text is saying, a strong woman Who can find? A strong woman. Who can find? Huh? She's more valuable. She's precious. A strong woman. See, if the text translate, it'll read right. You say, whoa, not a virtual one. So when women read that in America around the world, they say, oh, well, she do this. No, she's a strong woman. I mean, she can hold it down. Remember, this book is written to Israel. Written to Israel, not to the nation. When Israel said a strong woman, who can find? Huh? He said that her husband, ain't got no fear. She about her busy. So because she busy doing her thing, she ain't on the phone. Huh? She ain't wasting time. The man come home, got the food ready. Oh, y'all talk to me. I'm talking about a strong woman. She handling her business. He's at the gate doing business. That's what the text said. Just thought I'd just throw that out there to you, ladies.
Amen.
Strong woman. Yes. It's built into it. Where we stopped at? Go ahead.
And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive.
Listen, if this is prophecy, because we can go to Jeremiah that they say that chapter 16 that says that no longer that you should say that Jehovah liveth that brought up the children of Israel. Y'all need to see that. No. We need to see this verse there. Now remember, because everything is already written. Jeremiah chapter 16. If you think, I know it sounds pretty that you want to be out of here, that's what they teach us in the religion of Christendom. Why? Because they don't want to have to deal with Egypt. You see, that stuff does not prepare you. But if you know a storm is coming, at least you have an opportunity to prepare. But then if you don't prepare, you can't blame the weatherman. Then you want to talk about at Walmart, what a manager! We need some water. Like, ma'am, the storm was coming last week. You went to the last moment. Start at verse 14. Jeremiah chapter 16. Watch this here. There's another departure coming.
Therefore, behold, the days come, says Jehovah, that it shall no more be said, Jehovah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But Jehovah liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north and from all the lands whither he had driven them.
Has that happened yet?
No.
See what I'm talking about? So the pattern has already been laid down. So as we travel through the journey, we read these, seem like a Hollywood scene story, manna coming down and water out of the rock and all that thing. You better try to get your mind together and start believing that stuff. Or be like that man said, I believe, but help my unbelief. Huh? We better start believing these things. Because why? There's a time coming. There's another exodus. Not another rapture, another exodus. It's very important. Let's go back to exodus because I want to touch on some points. So for those that don't wait around, but at least be prepared twice. I mean, hey, I got it on the back burner, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. That's why how things can be tested for genuine.
Right.
Because why? The same thing our father said, oh, all that Jehovah say we will do. Soon they start their journey. See, the wilderness, which is the book of Bamidbar, the wilderness proves you. It proves you. See, in the journey, we all on a journey. We'll journey together. Some will journey for a season. Some will on that journey for a long time. But we all on a journey. And once we find out what's the real goal is, you say, man, that ain't worth separating. Why? Because there's some ice out there. Because the text tells us that the dragon is angry with the woman. See, when you think that we all cool, you know what I'm saying, with the nation ain't cool. Trust. The thing ain't about to wind down. So when you see the same thing happening today, brothers being killed like this, it's like it should take you back to Exodus. What's going on? Go ahead.
You say go back to Exodus.
Yeah, chapter 2.
Chapter 2, verse 1. And there went a man of the house of Levi and took to wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could no longer hide him, she took him an ark of bulrushes and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags by the river's brink. And his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done to him. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. And when they saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maids to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept. And she had compassion on him, and said, This is one of the Hebrews' children. Then said she to Pharaoh's daughter, Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that she may nurse the child for thee? And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, Go. And the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, Take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses, and said, Because I drew him out of the water.
Okay, this is the document. Now, how many women? Just raise your hand. How many wouldn't mind getting paid for raising your own child? I mean, this is incredible. It's kind of laughing because in the midst, because I have heard people say this, man, this world is so bad. I don't want to have kids. But it was in this situation that Moses was born. When Yeshua was born, when Herod, the Edomite ruler, is Yah always have a deliver in the generation. See, now, they had one Moses, but there's going to be a lot of Moses in our generation. They're going to need more Moses, Joshua's and Marians, So look how that Yah always have a ram in the bush. Here's Moses' mom and daddy could have said, you know what? We didn't want to have those children around here. They could have easily. They could have easily because things are so bad right now. People say, you know what? We don't want to have kids because look how bad this world is. Not knowing that baby in them could be the one that brings deliverance to your family. So they knew something was special. I don't know if that was a sign on Moses. You know how parents that there's something special about your child. You just know it. Only a mother would know that. I mean, if you don't think your child is special, why should anybody else take this special? So I don't know, it's something that they saw or whatever by the Ruach Kadesh. But I just think it's just powerful how that the text is in here showing us that she even brought up nurse her own child, and I can't imagine the time just because us men, we can't relate to that. Had to give your child to another. It's like knowing that you're struggling as a young mother, and you know that you're young, and you have to give your child to your aunt so and so or adoption, whatever it be, and I mean that's hard right there. And we just saw movies like that at a young age, the mama say, it'll be best that you give her. Then that child grow up, that young girl grows up something missing, because she always wonder, like, I wonder how she look. I wonder if she okay. I wonder if they treating her good. Can you imagine all the emotion that she's going through? I wonder. Then as I read this, ladies, I would think, I wonder what she named her child. That's what Pharaoh called her. Pharaoh's daughter. I wonder what's Moses' real name. What is Moses' name? It's not an Egyptian name. A Hebrew name. I wonder what she named him. Because after 8 days, you can name him. I wonder what the father, I want, what's Moses' name? We know that we have him. That she called him Moses. And don't tell her that she asked the mother, what you want to name him? But just think about all the emotion that's going through here that she has to let, you know what I'm saying, this, her son go. Now the text moves on to another scene. Verse 11.
And it came to pass in those days, when Moshe was grown, that he went out unto his brethren, and looked on their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way, and he looked that way, and when he saw there was no man, he slew the Egyptian, and hid him in the sand. And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together. And when he said unto him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses was afraid, and said, surely this thing is known. Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses. But Moses fled from the face of Aaron and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away, but Moshe stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, how is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, and where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him that he may eat bread. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter, and she bare him a son, and called his name Gershom. For he said, I have been a stranger in a land.
Okay, now, so the text fast forward. We know that Moses was raised up at Pharaoh's house for how many years? Remember? 40 years. We know that Moses, by the evidence that he's going to be in Jethro's house, we see the road is another name for Jethro, for another 40 years. But just think about this here for a moment, that when Moses was in Egypt, he had no, according to the biblical text, he has no encounter with the Most High. We don't have no document of that, right? So he's been raised in this city. There's a lot of noise. But Moses, he knew who he was. He knew who he was. And it's hard to hide who you are. I'm telling you, it came to him. He could not take it anymore. Looking at his people being oppressed. Okay? And the writer of Hebrews tells us something about Moses. Let's go here for a moment. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 11. See, Moses had a calling on his life, but it was being smothered by the Egyptian culture and the environment. But what do you think that Moses got that from? Because I guarantee you, Miss Pharaoh's daughter didn't tell him who he was. You see how she's nourishing him? Because when you nurse a boy, it can be from 3 to 5 years old. So Moses, you know what I'm saying? Things are being planted. So if she knew that I didn't have that much time with him, 3 to 5 years, she was teaching him all them things. Don't you ever forget. Don't you ever forget. So that's why when he went out, his text said that he saw one of his brethren, his op, being persecuted. And he didn't like that. Couldn't take it no more. See, there's not going to be any change in your life until you can't take it no more. It's really not. It's one thing to complain about it, you ain't doing right, you ain't doing. No. Are you tired of it? Or you like the dog just moaning and moaning and moaning? Like, why he won't get up? Because it ain't hurting. He's laying on a nail, Harry. Like, why don't you just get up? Because it's not hurting. See, pain, you know what I'm saying? We need pain. Because, I mean, being shocked cause you to be careful when you play with the electricity.
Yes,
See, we need things to shock us in life. Like, whoa, whoo. Can't let you get that close to me like that. See, things that shock us, man. Those things that we remember.
Yeah.
People wonder why you got a wall up. You know, when people are shy or don't whatever, you don't know what happened in that person's life. They opened up one time in their life and were betrayed. Your girlfriend did what? I took her in. Chapter 11, verse 24. Watch this here.
By faith, Moshe, when he come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter.
Where did that happen? Notice. No. I'm just saying, the text don't tell us. So, but the writer of Hebrew, he gives insight. By faith, when he was come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. The text don't tell us, but we know that an incident happened at age 40, right? When I came to a certain age, growing up, I used to hear my mama say, you act just like your daddy, just like your daddy, you know that? So that set me on a journey. I want to find my daddy. Because I don't care, listen, ladies, I don't care how bad y'all talk about our daddies, we still love our daddies.
Amen.
He might be your no good, whatever, but he's still my daddy.
Right.
So he didn't want to be called Pharaoh's daughter. Listen, there's gonna come a time that he said, listen, I don't want to be called a Christian no more. I don't want to be called black no more. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. That's what my daddy called me. Go ahead, verse 25.
Choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Elohim than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
Do you see that? Moses got tired of the good life. Huh? How can you get it? It's like, here we go again. The house, Negro, and the slave. Huh? You got to listen, if you're in the house, are you working out a plan? I mean, if your house, can you throw your boy a little cornbread or something? I mean, say somebody would listen, I'm going to leave this bean right here, man. This is what I made it for you. I made it extra. But just to be in the house and chill? No. If you had a good job, doing good, but you know what the community need? Like when we was when Brother Eddie was working, when I still working for Shell, man, all our computers we got from Shell.
Hallelujah.
It was a Hindu guy that was friends with Eddie, and every time something shelled, because they got the money, right? So they needed to get rid of it. We got it. That thing that's $3,500 right there. That print 20,000 copies, but it can't print nothing until we get some ink. It used to. We just got to get the ink. But you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, if you're in a place, and you know what we're trying to do, if you know what we're trying to do, see, when you know what's going on and you connected to a community, then you say, oh, I heard what Pastor wanted to do. Oh, I heard what House Study wanted to do. See, when you're involved in people's life, you say, oh, I didn't know so-and-so needed this here. Girl, you know anybody that need a bed? Like, yeah, I just, you see? If you're in people's life, you'll know what they need.
Amen.
Iron sharpen iron. But when we become an island to ourselves, we're like, I didn't know she need that. Well, do you talk to her? Well, why not? Why not? See, a lot of times people don't want to get involved in people's life because they're afraid that they're going to have to give something or sacrifice something, blah, 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 blah. I mean, it can be anything, you know. I mean, just anything. But if you blessed, to bless somebody, you see the Abraham. So he refused, right? To suffer, right? Go ahead.
26. Esteeming the reproach of Mushiach greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith, he foresaw.
That's good. So now, I just want y'all to see how Moses was in a situation. Ain't nobody in here was in a great position than Moshe. Moshe could have looked out there and turned his head. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Man, I ain't trying to get there. I mean, I see them being beat. I see the mud. I mean, I know how they situation. I said, man, I mean, to go from there to there. But we see, though he didn't go about it the right way, that was the only way that Moses knew. Why? Because he was trained in Egypt. Am I right? And so we have to be careful that we don't take our training from the world and try to bring it into the kingdom, because it'll cause conflict. You say, well, at the job, I understand, but I don't understand. This ain't shameless. This ain't such a, we have to be very careful, because a lot of times that our education can just tell the Holy Spirit, just sit over here, we got this. And you can always tell when it's a work of the flesh, but then you got people behind closed doors arguing over a simple thing. Turks. I'm not lying. I wanted 12 stars, but she put 17 stars. All kind of silly stuff. Let's go back here. Okay, we're about to land this thing. Now, it's amazing that while Moses was in Egypt, that the Most High, we have no written or document account, but we believe that his mother did teach him some things. That his identity. Hey, and listen, they might did tell us, but we got to tell our children, you are a Hebrew Israelite. Elijah, you a Hebrew Israelite. Micah, you a Hebrew Israelite.
Hallelujah.
I forgot your name. What's your name? Juju, you a Hebrew Israelite. You hear me? We got to tell them. Listen, Christian. Okay, I got a witness. Huh? Let's land this. Now watch this here. So now Moses realized, hey, he go again. He's just like us in exile. He named his son Goshen. I mean, I'm a stranger. We are strangers. Just settle it, right? Go ahead.
23. And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up to Elohim by reason of the bondage. And Elohim heard their groaning. And Elohim remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And Elohim looked upon the children of Israel, and Elohim had respect unto them. Now, when Moshe kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Elohim, even to Horeb. And the angel of Elohim, of Jehovah, appeared unto him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush. And he looked, and behold, the bush was burned with fire, and the bush was not consumed. And Moshe said, I will turn now aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burnt. And when Jehovah saw that he turned aside to see, Elohim called to him out of the midst of the bush and said, Moshe, Moshe. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not hither, put off thy shoes from thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the Elohim of thy father, the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Elohim of Jacob. And Moshe hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Elohim.
That's powerful. Hold on for a minute. That's powerful. Because while he was in Egypt, he only heard about it. Huh? He only heard about him. Now Moses is having an encounter. Can you imagine? That the God that he had heard by his mother, now he's having an encounter. Notice that we didn't have no encounter while he was in Egypt. But now we at the 40 years. Now he's at the age of 80, right? Now here is the God of our Father. Think about our situation that we in now. Christianity has not helped us. Hindu has not helped us. Religion has not helped us. And now the God of our Father shows up. We didn't leave him over there at the West Coast. Now here is that we are saying, listen, the God of our father, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, he's here with us. He sees our affliction. This is what he's going to tell Moses. I know what's going on. This is the fourth generation. Now, here's Yah. He allowed this thing. Why? Because he had to get his man right. This is powerful. And we're going to close probably on Acts. But notice how that Moses was raised up because Yah is trying to teach him. So now I'm going to show him power, but not the kind of power that I'm going to use it. Meaning that he's going to learn power in Pharaoh's house. I want him to see how corrupt power is.
All right.
See, the power of Pharaoh rules over people, dominate people. You see what I'm talking about? That's why being a pastor, that if I were a manager at a store, I manage people. But I can't bring that managed stuff here and try to make y'all do stuff. No. And that's what get a lot of pastors in trouble. We don't own the people. No. Yaakov told Joseph, go and check out my sheep. See how they doing. So notice here that Moses learned power in Pharaoh's house. He learned the power. And then guess what he tried to do? He tried to use the power the same way that that ain't working. And so now Yah, he's in exile. Can you imagine being in exile for 40 years? Got a wife. Could have come down. Now his calling come 40 years later. I'm glad that the text let us see that maybe you and I try to do certain things a certain way, and it just didn't work out. That don't mean that the Most High, just because he went silent, that he's finished. You see, we have to be very careful of that, because when Abraham and our mother Sarah did the Hagar thing, it was 13 years later that when the Most High showed up again. So don't let our frailness, remember what the psalmist said, that we are flesh. He knows. So now the Most High take them from a power to understand power, because he's going to show him power later. Now he put him in a place where he can learn priesthood, learn how to be a shepherd. This stuff ain't by accident. You have to understand Moses. It's like a person going from Shales, got 1,000 employees over him, and under him Shales, and then now he get fired, and the only job he can get is a Jack in the Box. That's what happened to Moses. I'm trying to tell. Listen, this how y'all do things. Now he got Moses on the back of the desert with sheep. With sheep. Why? Because he's going to teach him something. See, the Most High want us to learn this here. Listen, he said, I deal with people behind the scene. I don't need people that need to be seen. I need people who can do a job that working for somebody else down in the dungeon, you know what I'm saying? And nobody even know that you're there. But you just come to the job. You do your job. You do your job. This how all our King David got Moses. And then the shepherd of all shepherds. Yeshua HaMashiach. Moses was faithful. The scripture said that Moses was faithful over Yah's house. Hebrews chapter 3 said Moses was faithful over Yah's house. And that's what Yah is looking for. This is how he developed people. Yah do not develop people in the city. He developed people down here behind the scene with things that don't even, like, who wants sheep? Even David's brothers them don't want sheep. They want to put on the armor to make it look like they are fighters. But who wants a real fighter? Huh? Y'all don't care about this suit. Huh? If you ain't, if I'm a leader or any leader and you ain't willing to fight for your people, you ain't no leader. Huh? Last verse, and we're gonna shut it down. Verse 7.
And Jehovah said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them out of that land unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
Okay, that's good. So now, what we're going to see throughout our study in the book of Shemot, remember that these are the names, but this is the book that gives us the name of those that went down to Egypt. But don't misunderstand, this is the book that gives us the name of Jehovah. So this is the point. He wants to know that who did that? Who did that? Who brought y'all out? The God of our father, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Who's going to bring us out? Huh? Who's going to bring us out? And if the Most High want to use the pressure of this world, because our forefathers, they was born in a land of affliction. If he want to use all these things around us, people persecuting us, finance, all these things that squeezing us to make us support one another, come together. If you want to use all those things that he can bring out kesed, I want y'all to learn how to love each other. You see who's struggling, then do something about it. You see who have hurt, he's going to use all this here. Why? Because we ought to be able to relate to that stuff. That's what he's doing. That's what he's going to do. Are we so concerned about ourselves? Are not concerned about one another as a people, as a nation? That's who we are. So persecution is good because it binds us together. We all struggling to finance. Oh, good then. We buy a loaf of bread, we cut that thing up. Boom. He said, nah, we buy no bread. We're going to make some bread. Okay, there it is. On Thursday night, we're going to be down here. We're going to make some bread. Make sure everybody got bread. Oh, ladies, okay, we're going to do some big beans. Okay, who's short this month? Who's short this week? So, well, my stuff is paid for. Well, okay. Who's short this week? My stuff is good. My stuff is good. Okay. Who's short? Huh? Somebody get some government assistance. Let's bring it together. Live out together. Huh? They lived out for us. I'm just being real about it. We start getting the business. Okay, let's see where we at. Let's see where we at. And so it's like this here. If they say what happened in Vegas, stay in Vegas, right? Well, what happened in here, stay in here. Yeah, y'all feel it? This is for real. This is what the early church did. They broke bread together. There was no need. Why? Because there was no greedy people there. And then one showed up. And what the Holy Ghost did with it? No, they did none of that here. And all fear, they fell dead right in the I'm telling you. How you imagine telling the police who killed that person? God did it. No, what you mean God did what? I mean, I'm telling you, they lied to me and they dropped dead. God killed them. Oh, the feds, the feds lied. These are the things that we're going to be inspired by. And so these things are written as a testimony that our Elohim got our back. Got our back. And when we get to the part where it says that when you're about to leave, go to the Egyptian and borrow from them, King James came. Listen, that ain't talking about can I borrow some sugar? The word is demand. Give me my stuff. You ever know what I'm saying? Going in the enemy camp. The word is demand. Why? Demand. Because why? Y'all begin to plague Egypt, they can't wait to get y'all out of here. So when y'all start plaguing the nation, not just America, the nation, they can't wait to get us out of here. They didn't tell us, our fathers, to leave out of Egypt because they just, no. Y'all start plaguing them. That's what's going to happen, Miss Betty. I pray that we have been encouraged with the word of Yah today. This document, Israel, is written for us. It's written for us. If you're in a position right now, you say, you know what? There's a famine around me. There's a famine. Let's deal with the issue that oppress us, finance. That if that Yah will give you a Goshen. That he will become, he'll put you in a place that you don't know why they have a call. You don't know why they have a list of that, whatever. And if you're in a place that you've been afflicted by the enemy, by your flesh, by sickness, whatever it may be, Because the Most High promised us that no sickness shall come upon us.
Right.
So we are returning back to the covenant to the best of our understanding. So we received that promise. You said, "Abba, that you would put no afflicted or sickness upon us as you did the Egyptian." And ladies, if you're in a situation that you need to be like our ancestor right here, stand up. Stand up. Stand up. And if you're a stranger or you feel that you are